The NFL Combine is done, which means more mock drafts for all of us. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we are doing a live Chicago Bears mock draft. What do we mean by live? We will be acting as the Bears front office, not the Giants front office, the Bears front office, and going through all of their selections. So while we're doing that, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of our selections and what you'd want to see the Bears do at each pick. And hit that subscribe button, tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out. With that being said, Ryan, let's get started here. So the
Let's
Bears
do it.
are picking 10th overall. Let's scroll up. Let's see who has been taken off the board so far. My number one guy I
Pretty,
can tell has already been taken.
yeah, pretty vanilla. I think you see like the top four are what you usually see, and then you have Will Campbell, Shador Sanders, um, kind of going on from there. So, uh,
I like
I,
it.
I like it. I think this is a really realistic scenario here for the
Yep.
Bears. The first name that I see that jumps out is Ashton Jeanty. I feel like that is going to be uh, the route that I will end up maybe pushing to go. I do think there are other cases for guys like Mike Green that could come in. Kenneth Grant as well. I think would be interesting. But this is a deep defensive line class. It's also a really deep running back class as well.
Yeah, and we'll have to kind of wait and see. But historically, I think a guy like Mike Green has not been the type of edge rusher that the Bears have gone after. And if I'm looking at Dennis Allen now as the new defensive coordinator, he typically has run a 4-3 defense in New
Mhm.
Orleans. So I think they might go that similar route. And I would say if he was still available, to me, I think Will Campbell is the pick that just makes sense. Looking at their depth chart as right now, Tevin Jenkins a free agent, Coleman Shelton's a free agent, and Matt Pryor. They're three interior offensive linemen. They even have some other guys as backups that are also free agents as well. But they can get guard later on, and they can also they'll probably re-sign several of those guys. I'm with you. To me, Ashton Jeanty in this
Yeah.
scenario, I think makes the most sense.
Get Ben Johnson, the David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs co- clone, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
he is
uh,
their child. Ashton
yeah,
Jeanty is the child of Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery.
yeah. And so now here, like I think like a Tyleek Williams coming off the board. You have Landon Jackson as well, another really big edge rusher out of this class. Like I think there's a lot of different ways you could go with this pick. You could get Tyler Booker in that offensive line interior there as well. Like there's so many different routes, and the beauty of this pick is you pick again in two picks.
Yeah, so I let's lock up a guard because
Okay.
Tevin Jenkins probably going to be moving on. Tyler Booker slots in right there as your starting guard. So let's go Tyler Booker here.
Okay.
And then
Landon Jackson went off the board.
that was gonna be the guy I think I
I know.
was leaning towards.
I
Shoot!
know. Damn Saints.
How do
That's
they
the
know?
that's
Are
the
they
yeah.
is PFF listening to us right now?
Yeah, maybe.
Are they
They,
reading our
they
thoughts?
yeah, did they incorporate AI?
I know.
So edge rushers, I'm not super sold on a lot of these guys, especially two. I think you can get similar value at like 72 with Jordan Birch, Elijah Roberts, Kyman Rucker. Maybe if you want to go one of the Ohio State guys, I think that would be a Dennis Allen style edge. I think JT. I'm leaning more JT Tuimoloau. Um, Braden Swinson, I like, but he is a little bit smaller. I believe he's only like 250. Yeah, 6'4", 250. It is more of a pass rush specialist. So, uh, anything else catch your eye here? Xavier Watts.
Well, and what's
Um,
interesting too when just looking at this, like, Bears defense, and I thought this a lot, is, like, I actually like the talent on the team.
yeah,
I think last year, I think they just lost the locker room. So I'm curious to see how they end up playing under Dennis Allen. But even too, when I just go look at the corners, like I know Ramondre Stevenson didn't have the best year, but like they have
Tyreek Stevenson, not Ramondre Stevenson.
sorry, yeah. Ramondre Stevenson as a corner has horrible stats. Tyreek
Yeah,
Stevenson, though, is a little bit better at corner than Ramondre. But I mean, they have Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, then even Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Baird. I mean, like I like that secondary, and then I even too like Montez Sweat and then the linebacking room that they have. So I could see them going many different ways here. Mm, I feel like Princely is not the typical edge rusher they'd go after, but I also think too I mean he has the sacks, he has the pressures that you get there. I'm, trying to think, then what else could they end up doing? Uh,
JT Tuimoloau is the edge rusher that I would lean towards if you want to go edge rusher. Tyleek Williams, I think, get that big meaty defensive tackle in the middle. I think would be of interest. Um, I just where did they rank in terms of rushing defense last year?
Let me pull that up. I have that on my big fancy Excel spreadsheet.
Eh, Um,
1 second here. The run defense, they were 28th overall, so not
so
good.
not good.
Yeah.
Let's do Tyleek Williams then. Let's
I
get
like it.
a big guy to kind of come in and stop the run there.
I like it.
I
It's
think that's
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, because they have Gervin Dexter, they have Andrew Billings, then they even have Zach Pickens as well. But Dexter and Pickens were guys that they drafted in 2023. So I could see that though, bringing some more young blood, some more competition. And I like Tyleek Williams. I think that's good value overall.
yeah. It's probably not the most pressing need, but I think you have a little bit of a luxury there with 2 second-round picks. So why not get somebody to come in and take up space in the middle of your defense? So here, let's see. Are there any edge rushers on the board that interest you at this point?
Ashton Jeanty, because I think one thing too, their next pick is until 149. So
Yeah.
I think that could be a legit one that they end up doing here. The value is going to be totally different. That being said, though, too, I do think maybe if you double dip on the interior as well, I think that would be interesting. And get the top center, the Georgia center. That might be kind of a reach, but once again, though, too, you're not picking for another 77 picks.
Yeah, get Jared Wilson.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think though, is like, do we like Seth McLaughlin enough or Jake Majors enough to hold out and wait to see if they make it there? Um,
I
that's
think
just what
Jared
I'm
Wilson
questioning.
might be worth it. Especially too, I think you look with this Ben Johnson offense, you're going to want big and powerful offensive linemen. So you get Tyler Booker, you go get Jared Wilson. I feel like that will be a really solid interior. You already have Darnell Wright, um, and then you have Braxton Jones on the left side there as
Okay.
well.
Any other
Um,
corners? That's the only other thing. I mean, they do have Benjamin Morrison there. I'm surprised that he's fallen this far, but I think that hip injury
yeah.
is making him fall.
The only other thing that I would suggest is edge rusher. I mean, I think we can take a look again. Elijah Roberts is an interesting name. He is that bigger defensive end style. I mean, he's borderline defensive tackle.
Scroll down a
I do
little bit. Who are going to be some of the edge rushers that are going to be projected around the 150 range?
Ahmed Hassanin,
Tyler
Antoine Powell
Batty.
Ryland, Tyler Batty, Tyler Barron. Yeah, I think we can wait on edge rusher. Let's go get Jared Wilson, and then we'll
Okay.
get one of those guys there at the top of the fifth. So
Okay. All right.
let,
So
let's do that.
let's recap the picks here.
Yeah,
So
while that takes down, so
Ashton Jeanty. Oh, go ahead.
Ashton Jeanty, Tyler Booker, Tyleek Williams, and then Jared Wilson there. I think those are some really solid picks for this team, especially they need to win in the trenches more. And I think two picks invested in the offensive line, 1 pick invested on the defensive line, probably about to be another. If some of those edge rushers fell to us. So I see Ahmed Hassanin, Antoine Powell, Ryland are off the board. Okay, this come on PFF. Olu Oladejo, Tyler Barron went. All right. Let's see. Ooh, that got really picked over really quickly.
Interesting.
Ja Joyner is the first one the one I like the most out of this group. He's a bigger edge rusher. He had a really good year 2 years ago at Minnesota. This past season, not so much. But he looked okay at the Senior Bowl. Good athlete for his size as well. That would be one that I would entertain as well.
The only thing I'm thinking of is if we get some outside skill position player guys, like see what receivers are available.
Yeah.
Um,
Kyle
but
Williams would be interesting. That could be your Amon-Ra St. Brown type. They don't really have that in Chicago right now.
Well, because I think as of right now, I mean, according to our lads, they have Keenan Allen, the guy that's lining up as the slot, but they're
Yeah.
probably not going to bring him back at all. So, and actually, also too, on top of that, DeAndre Carter's a free agent as well. Their other slot guy.
You gonna do that?
Yeah, I think let's end up doing that. They'll probably re-sign DeAndre Carter, or maybe bring somebody
Okay.
else back. But I mean, the transition though is definitely going to be in this Ben Johnson offense. That it's going to be. I mean, heavy Ashton Jeanty as well, DeAndre Swift combo. Then Roma Dunde is going to take a step up, get Keenan Allen stats. DJ Moore's probably going to get his stats as well. So that's what's going to be interesting. I think when it comes to this just this Bears offense, because as I said, I like the talent on this team. I think we need to address the edge rusher spot, and it seems like that we've missed out on the best capable
Yeah.
players up to this point.
Um. Yeah, there's not really anybody that I like. Fadil Diggs, I think, is a decent player. Um, yeah, but you might be able to get better value elsewhere. I mean,
I'm on. Yeah,
honestly, I'd
go
rather
ahead.
triple dip on that offensive interior, or do something like that.
Yeah, you could do that. We're not going to take Ty Felton just because it's unrealistic that he's
Y
200th
Yeah.
ranked overall. So I'm thinking that. I'm also maybe thinking linebacker as well. Just looking at, I mean, they do have TJ Edwards, and then they do also have Tremaine Edmonds. Both of some the guys that they have signed in the past couple of years. But I think just to get some more depth behind them as well, I think would be good, especially too as they're looking at it right now. They have a couple guys that are restricted free agents, yeah, um, but just provide some more value if they'd want to.
Okay.
So I
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, we could do one. Jamin Dumas Johnson is a interesting prospect. We've done Jay Higgins before and Smile Munden. So I feel like maybe we'll take those guys out of consideration.
Okay,
And maybe just bring up a new name if you want to do Jamin Dumas Johnson.
yep, let's do that.
Okay. It's a good developmental day 3 linebacker. So, uh, next up, I mean, I think we'll probably try to dip at edge rusher here. The problem is we kind of keep missing the boat on those guys, and the fact that we're not doing trades, I think, is not helping us. So,
Yeah,
one guy that might be interesting is Ty Robinson. We brought him up a few other times. Holland Pierce is a massive left tackle from Rutgers. I mean, still not seeing any. Elijah Alston is the next edge rusher, I think, on the next highest ranked edge rusher on the board. That's really the last position we haven't addressed.
I think now at this point though, you're just trying to just get best player available.
Yeah.
What corners are in there?
Tommy Hill is there. He's an interesting guy. Played outside for them. I think that would be a good developmental one. Cam Miller, Penn State usually produces good defenders.
Let's
So,
do Tommy Hill,
okay.
as I think that could be an area where they could get a little bit more depth in. And if anything, it's a special teams guy also too. And then here, edge rusher.
Let's
Yeah,
just take the
let's do
highest rated edge rusher.
Johnny
Yeah,
Walker.
we'll get Johnny Walker from Missouri. One, just so Bears fans can't comment being like, I can't believe you didn't address edge rusher. We'll just do one just so they can't say it.
Put
So,
Tyleek, put Tyleek Williams at edge rusher. There you
I
go.
know, honestly, do what Kentucky did with Deion Walker and throw him out
Yeah,
in a
just
wide
move him
9.
around.
And yeah,
Yeah,
uh, I all in all though with this draft as it loads here, Ashton Jeanty, Tyler Booker, Tyleek Williams, Jared Wilson, Kyle Williams, Jamin Dumas Johnson, Tommy Hill, and Johnny Walker. Heavy emphasis on the trenches, playing physical football there. You got 2 interior offensive linemen. You got, what is that? 1, 2, 3 guys there in your front 7. You got a running back. You got a physical corner. So all in all for the Bears, I definitely think that they got better. This team, I think the biggest improvement that they're going to make, they've already made, and that's just swapping out head coach, bringing in new leadership, and really getting this team on the right track because they have a lot of talent already. They just need somebody to be guiding the ship.
Yeah, and I I think their biggest priority is I think addressing that offensive line. You got to protect Caleb Williams. You've got to make sure that you can have a functioning offensive line so Ben Johnson's offensive system can do its thing. A lot of times too is what I mean, like great edge rushers are hard to come by, but at the same time though too, I think if they just improve that overall defensive system, I think they'll see their defensive line improve just naturally. So I think Dennis Allen, say what you want about Dennis Allen as a head coach, but he could cook up a pretty good defense. And so I think he's going to come in and provide some good guidance as well. So in general, I think that's where if we could have addressed the edge rusher, I think it would have sent this draft maybe into like the A+ category. But just the way the board kept shaping up, you're like, we get better value going elsewhere. So
Yeah.
we'll have to kind of wait and see how the Bears handle this in real life.
Yep. So, with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of the Chicago Bears 7-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently? None of that. We'll see you guys next time.